Welcome back to another video here on the second channel. We have 3 tweets from Jasper that are showing off some new textures. It's been a while since we've seen any of this, right? Some new experimental tests for the texture pack. What do you think? Before we look at the images, let's go check out the following tweet, which is sometimes to explore options and things, I try drastic changes like this. The third tweet says this is just some tests exploring, not for version 3. So that will be the next release of the updated textures. Let's go look at the very first image that was shared and just discuss a couple of textures and changes here. I think this is mostly quite nice. However, these planks and the stone textures, not so keen on those. The stone's got a little bit too much contrast, and I think the planks are a little bit too plain. The cobble's kind of nice, but yes, that's one of the images. This one right here, I'm not a fan of this sandstone. It looks really different from the original game. Maybe the tone and the color of the block is a little more realistic and looks nicer, but it just drifts a little too far away from what we're used to, in my opinion. So I'm not terribly keen on those ones. I do notice, however, some of the textures here are smooth and some are cracked, and they actually transition quite nicely there. So that's a positive for these textures. Going to the third image, you might think it's the same one again, so let's flick back and forth between them. You can see these are actually different textures, which suggests that Jasper's probably got like a whole bunch of different textures in front of him and playing around with different combinations. So the stone in this new one is a little smoother, but those streaks are just a bit much for me. I think that's probably the most tolerable texture here. I am not a fan of this cobblestone. That is just too dark and deep for me. It looks almost a little bit metallic. There's also some mossy just in there. Was the other one mossy? No, it looks like he changed out for some mossy. The wood texture, I think, is a big shift from what we currently have, but it's really interesting. It's a really nice texture, maybe something that should be saved for some new materials that might be added in the future. I think that wood texture is interesting, but I wouldn't particularly vote for changing it. So those are my opinions on these new textures, and I guess that's going to wrap up the video. If you want to go check these images out yourself, links to the tweets are in the description box down below. I hope you've enjoyed this video speculating on some new textures. Just to go back to this one though, this is just tests, so we might not even see any of these in the next release of the pack, and we have no idea when that will be, so stay tuned. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. See you later. Bye bye.